Deep in the heart of the Surrey countryside lies an extraordinary vet's practice.
Right, straight into number one. Good. All right, crack on. We're going to theatre. Let's go. All hands on deck.
Here, the hardest to treat pets from across Britain
Oh, ow, 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 ow.
are given some of the most advanced procedures available anywhere in the country.
I got it. Various pieces fit together to build a new endoskeleton, a bit like the Terminator.
The practice is the brainchild of one man, Professor Noel Fitzpatrick.
Very fashionable, Cookie. That is beautiful.
Yes, yes!
Known as the Bionic Vet, Noel has invented countless operations to help heal sick animals.
Some people come and they expect you to work a miracle,
Try and make it work.
but most people come full of hope. Come on, able to walk within 48 hours.
Thousands of people travel the length and breadth of the country every year, putting their faith in Professor Noel Fitzpatrick and his team. But sometimes the health of a pet literally has life-saving consequences for its owner. Today, making the 400-mile round trip from Devon are Karen and her 8-year-old therapy dog, Pearl.
Pearl came to me as a 9-week-old puppy. My health hasn't been too good. I suffer from quite bad nocturnal seizures. Pearl has been my lifeline, and without her, I wouldn't be sat here today.
Karen, who also has mobility issues, lives in a specially adapted bungalow with Pearl and her other Staffordshire Bull Terrier, Teddy.
When I was 27, I was diagnosed with nocturnal epilepsy. So from that moment on, my life changed. I probably have about 3 or 4 seizures a week.
Karen's condition could be fatal. To keep her safe, she has epilepsy alarms that wake an overnight carer when she has a seizure.
Hello, you're on my bed, cheeky.
This is where I sleep. This is where the epilepsy sensor and monitor is. And obviously, if I'm in a seizure, that activates the main pager in the carer's room.
But Pearl also plays a crucial part in keeping Karen safe. She has an incredible ability to sense when Karen is about to have a seizure and gives the carer around 2 minutes warning before the alarms activate.
She basically sounds like an air raid siren going off. That 2 minutes of Pearl alerting the carer makes all the difference. All the technology in the world couldn't replace the job that Pearl does. She's my lifeline.
Karen has brought Pearl to the practice after she noticed her limping on both hind legs.
Right, Pearl, please. Pearl.
Noel needs to establish how serious the problem is and the level of discomfort she's in.
If she jumps off the sofa or the other dog bashes into her, she does cry.
So she'll literally go, ah?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So she's licking her lips, which is her response to pain.
The left knee is very badly affected. It's definitely a concern.
Well done. That's fine, you can let her go. How come this dog is a therapy dog? What kind of therapy?
I suffer from nocturnal seizures,
Oh,
and they're quite bad.
I'm sorry to hear that.
She knows when I'm going to have a seizure. She sleeps in the bed with me.
Oh. Does she wake up before you have
Yes.
a seizure then?
Yes.
How does she know that?
I don't know, it's just something she's done from being a puppy.
So potentially she is actually preventing you being dead?
Yes, she has on one occasion.
Really?
Yes, she's just so sensitive.
No
you know.
pressure for me then.
Noel's biggest cause for concern is Pearl's left knee. He requests CT scans to assess the extent of damage to the bone and associated cartilage and soft tissue. Karen will have to wait for the results.
How do we look? You're cozy. You're cozy in there. Please tell me you haven't pooped on my lap.
It's early afternoon, and arriving at the practice are Joe and Paul Mitchell with their 2.5-year-old Irish setter, Casey. They've been referred to the practice after Casey began limping on his front left leg.
Where we live, on the seafront, you've got like concrete steps, and he jumps up on top of there and jumps down, and we thought he'd just pulled his shoulder.
The vet put him on anti-inflammatories, which did nothing. So we had him x-rayed, and it turns out he's got bone cancer in his, what would be our wrist.
Big shot, yeah, knocked me for 6, really.
I mean, you don't expect bone cancer at 2.5, do you?
Joe and Paul live in Bexhill-on-Sea on the south coast. Irish setters have always played a big part in their lives.
We have had 6 setters, haven't we?
Yes.
I mean, they've all been different, all the ones we've had. But Casey, he is extra loving, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I just love their characters. They give you so much. They're your family. I mean, I do as much for Casey as I do for Paul.
Is that nice? You love Casey, your mum's boy.
They've had Casey since he was just a few months old.
Straight away, it brought happiness. Whatever we do, he comes with us. It just brings enjoyment to our lives.
When we were first told that it was cancer, it just seemed so unfair. But you know, you can't change things, can you? You just got to sort of make the most of what you got and dread the day that you have to say goodbye.
Casey's already had a CT scan of his chest.
Hello, I'm Noel. Nice to meet you. Hello, Joe. Hi, Paul.
And fortunately, at a visible level, the cancer hasn't spread.
The lump is still relatively well localized to this region, just above the wrist. It has, however, fractured through here and here.
Noel suspects Casey's tumour is an osteosarcoma. Left untreated, it could prove fatal.
The first option is do nothing. Well, clearly that's a silly option. The second option is give drugs only. Generally that reduces pain, but it doesn't cure the tumour. The next option is radiation therapy, but it's fracturing. And because it's fracturing, you would have to operate anyway by putting a plate from there to there. And after that is, of course, full limb amputation. And that leads us to our next option. If we're going to have to operate anyway, why not just chop the tumour out from here to here? And we lift that piece of bone out and we replace it with metal. With osteosarcoma in dogs, the median survival time is only 11 months. Normally, you would expect the survival time to be the same, whether you save the leg or not. So then it comes down to a choice, whether we save the leg or don't save the leg.
Oh, I feel I'd like to save his leg.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did
Come
talk
here
about
hoping to save his legs. So.
I'd want to get this done as soon as possible. Like ASAP, literally ASAP.
Oh, naughty. I protect you from Helen. Yeah, I know. She's scary with those needles. He's kissing me.
The CT scan results for Karen's seizure alert dog Pearl have now come in.
Unfortunately, this is a much, much worse situation than Karen had originally hoped. This is the big problem right now, the left knee. The leg is bowing that way. The cartilage inside the knee is worn away, which is really, really unfortunate.
Noel has to give Karen the bad news.
I'm very concerned because There's really bad arthritis in this knee. It's pretty full on. There's 2 ligaments in there. One runs backwards and one runs forward. They're called the cruciate ligaments. That one's ruptured.
Oh, good heavens.
You've got quite severe erosion of cartilage within the joint. It's a massive problem. I didn't expect this when you came in, but I think that you are now in the territory of knee replacement. Anything else is going to potentially fail.
Would that relieve some of the pain?
Well, the pain will be completely gone.
Right.
Because it will be a new joint. Like, it's a massive, big deal.
Well, I've got to go by your judgment. I don't want her to be in pain.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it's horrendous.
Well, I can't replace her, so I've got to do what's right for her.
It's a big undertaking. I do think it's morally right to give her a new knee, but I don't think anything less than that is going to do the job.
Karen will have to wait for Pearl's bespoke prosthetic knee to be manufactured.
Yeah, I'm a bit shocked, yes. Yeah. I knew it was bad, but I didn't realise it was going to be such an in-depth procedure. No, I thought it'd be a little job. I wouldn't hesitate to do anything for her. Every day, she's a ray of sunshine.
Joe has returned to Fitzpatrick's with 2.5-year-old Casey for his operation to remove the tumour in his front leg.
A little bit nervous, but he's worth it. Got to give him a chance.
Before surgery, Noel wants an MRI scan of Casey's wrist to fully assess tumour spread in the leg.
Right, so we've got the MRI scans through for Casey's leg now. You can see that a tumour is in here and it's growing up as far as there inside the bone. And that means we also need to take some normal bone out up here to make absolutely sure that we've got all of that tumour physically removed.
Noel wants Casey prepared for surgery right away.
Everything ready to go? Yes? Okay, here we go.
First, Noel must cut through layers of soft tissue to expose the cancerous section of bone.
Whilst you will normally think of a tumour as an expanding ball, this particular expanding ball is inside the bone, which causes the pain as it explodes out through the bone surface.
The MRI scan shows how far up the bone he needs to cut.
So the edge of the tumour is going to be about here. Do it. Okay, so the tumour is in this piece of bone. I'm going to just flip it out now.
There are major arteries surrounding the tumour. Noel must take extra care.
Of course, this is a delicate balance between cutting out the tumour but not cutting out the blood vessels and the nerves that supply the foot, because if you don't have enough blood and nerves to the foot, it's not going to work. There we go. So that's the tumour right there, growing out from the bone.
With the tumour removed, he begins the complex task of installing Casey's metal endoprosthesis.
So we have a jigsaw puzzle now, and we've got to match the pieces of the implant together to best fit the leg. We've got 5 segments to the implant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Noel must carefully choose the correct size parts. He needs to ensure the metal prosthetic fits the space from where the tumour was removed.
So the length of the plate that I need is that much. So which of those plates is that much? We'll choose that one.
Once the metal plates are screwed to the bone, Noel connects them with a central component before they're all fixed in position.
So this is telescopic. So we just line it up like so, lock the wrist up onto it, and then it twists in any direction. This bit's absolutely critical, because whatever we do right now is going to set the position of his foot forever. Okay, that's locked.
So that took 2 hours, 25 minutes, and we've got 26 screws and the endoprosthesis in place, and Casey's bone will grow into this implant over the next few weeks and it'll become solid. If we're lucky, we'll be in with a chance here.
Casey will remain at the practice until he's comfortable bearing weight on his new metal prosthetic. Noel sends the tumour away to the lab for tests to establish exactly how aggressive the cancer is.
Can I have a hand, please?
Noel is a natural born leader.
I've got 45 minutes, guys. Got to get this done. Let's go.
Working for Noel, you never know what's going to happen.
Sometimes it gets a little het up.
Oh, shit. I told her to say pelvic limb rads. Quick, quick, quick.
He wants, you know, his case into theatre quicker.
All right, can someone gown me, please?
And sometimes to do that, he needs to maybe raise his voice a little bit.
Right, someone gown me, please. Don't all rush at the same time.
He can be grumpy.
Let's go.
He's a pussycat.
Hi, we've got an emergency coming down at 12:30. It's a cat. It's an urgent fracture.
It's early afternoon. A patient has been rushed in following a referral from a local vet. Nina and her mother Leslie believe their cat, Black Beauty, suffered serious head injuries after being hit by a car.
My son found some blood spots on the kitchen floor just as I was sort of making dinner, and just sitting there with blood sort of dripping all down his chest, and yeah, it was quite horrible, really.
Come on in. Right, thank you very much.
Noel and surgical resident James are on hand to take the case.
He's ripped his lip off of his jaw. What we can tell for sure is that that side of the jaw is separated from that side because you can see they're at different heights. However, I'm much more worried if there's something happening further back, and that's what we don't know.
With a head injury, you could have a problem with the brain, you could have a problem with the nose or mouth. So these can be really life-threatening scenarios.
Hold the box for you.
Good boy.
They may be the ones where there's not a huge amount we can do and we may have to let them pass away.
Noel and James need urgent CT scans of Black Beauty's skull to assess how critical the damage is.
Right, what have you got?
We've got a few fractures. The mandibular symphysis is fractured, but there's also a very small piece with just a few incisor teeth that's separated. And then on the CT, there's actually a gap here.
It looks like something going on back here as well. What have we got? Oh, there we go. Fracture right there. That's not good. We've got several problems here. The first problem is that the center of the jaw has come apart. The second problem is that the teeth in the middle of the center of the jaw have fallen out. The other problem we've got is there's a fracture straight into the joint back here. It's called a temporomandibular joint, TMJ. Now that's a tiny fragment. So generally, we wouldn't be able to reconstruct that. If we look at a cat skeleton here, you're looking at that piece of bone right there.
She looked very sad. What kind of things have you been doing?
Black Beauty has been fortunate not to sustain more life-threatening injuries. But if they don't operate to fix the multiple jaw fractures, he'll never be able to eat normally again.
I need a wee. Oh my God, I need a wee.
Oh my God.
Need a wee. Oh my God, I need a wee. Oh my God, I need a wee. Oh my God, I need a wee.
Amazingly, just 2 days after Casey's surgery,
Good boy.
he's up and about, walking on his new prosthetic leg.
Well done, buddy. Come on.
This way. Good boy. Good boy.
We've replaced everything in the arm from there to there with metal. And as you can see, the foot is working nicely. It's facing in a good direction relative to the other front foot. He's not too bothered by it. He would probably be fine on 3 legs, but in about 6 weeks from now, I suspect that he would prefer to be on 4. It's not for every dog, but I think it is for this one.
Good boy.
With Casey now bearing weight on his endoprosthesis,
Now, Casey, here we go, guys. Hello.
Noel's satisfied he can continue his recovery at home.
Please take a seat.
Thank you.
This is your new Terminator leg.
Gosh.
So that is the endoskeleton now, replacing the tumour. It's quite a dramatic thing when you see it for the first time. We've taken the primary away. We now just need to concern ourselves with secondaries. I'm hoping that out of the possible grades of cancer that this could be, that this is of the lower grade of osteosarcoma. We don't know for sure. We've sent it away to the lab. We all know that the books tell us the median survival time is 11 months, but he doesn't read the books. He doesn't know anything except today. And as long as we can provide him with a quality of life for a sustainable period of time, everyone's happy.
That's what we want, yes.
Good, I'll get him for you. Okay. Now, hello family.
Casey, hello babes. Oh, hello babes. Say goodbye.
As you can see, he's very happy and he's not bothered. He looks good. I know you'll probably be upset he's lost a lovely feathering on his leg, but what can I do? I can't work any miracles and keep the hair. Take care, mate. I'll see you soon.
He wants to go.
Noel will see Casey again in 4 weeks to check that the bone is binding solid with the metal prosthetic. More importantly, the lab results will establish the type of cancer and how aggressive it really is.
Just really keep our fingers crossed, and that's all we can do. But it's always in the back of your mind if it's going to come back.
It's mid-morning, and Karen's returned to the practice for the life-changing operation to replace Pearl's knee. This will be the first night in 8 years that Karen will go to bed without Pearl there to keep her safe.
First time I've had a night away from her. A bit nervous about leaving her. I just can't imagine going home and her not being there.
You know, when you're working with a dog like this, it brings a whole new level of responsibility. It's not just about getting the job done from a surgical perspective. It adds an extra dimension when you know there's a human life depending on what you do as well.
To fit Pearl's knee prosthetic in place, Noel has to remove the badly damaged arthritic ends of both the tibia and femur.
A CT scan allows us to plan this operation very accurately so that the implant is correct to a millimetre fit.
The implants are made from titanium and plastic, but are ultimately designed to mimic the natural movement of Pearl's knee.
So this is the bit that goes in the thigh bone, the femur. This is the bit that goes in the shin bone, the tibia. And these are linked together using an axle, and that acts as a hinge, but it also allows pivot on the tray.
Noel has to make space to secure the implants by drilling down inside each bone.
So this is actually the most challenging part of the procedure. I'm about to cement in the implants now. You only get one chance at this to get the alignment right. Yeah, we've got about 4 minutes to get the implant in and get it all lined up and secure, because the cement sets pretty quick. Here we go.
Once the femur implant is in place, Noel goes through the same process, inserting the corresponding stem into Pearl's tibia.
So as this cement sets and I'm trying to line the groove up, it's like looking down the barrel of a gun. Just looking down the sights to try and get the shot exactly straight.
As soon as the cement has set hard around both implants, Noel links them together with the metal and plastic axle. He's about to find out if he's got everything in exact alignment.
There we go, that's the axle in. So Pearl has a new knee. Happy days. I love it when a plan comes together. Oh, hi, Karen, it's Noel.
Hi.
So I've done the operation, and it went fine.
Right.
I'm not going to say I didn't feel any pressure going into that one, because I did.
Well, I don't drink, but I've sat and had a drink.
Oh,
I've like,
my goodness.
driven me to drink.
I hate it when I drive a woman to drink. I'll speak to you tomorrow night.
Very
You
much.
keep your chin up. She's being very brave. You need to be brave too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good girl.
Night, girls. Night. See you tomorrow.
It's 7 p.m.
Can I have that big light from over there, please?
Noel and James are preparing for the intricate surgery to fix the multiple fractures in Black Beauty's jaw.
All right, so we can see here that the lip has been pulled down away from the lower jaw. So that bit of bone with those two teeth attached should be in there. So we're going to see if we can locate it back roughly where it should be and pull this side of the jaw and that side of the jaw back together again.
Noel needs to loop a metal brace around the broken fragments of jawbone. It's a delicate procedure.
So I'm just going to hold it there with my fingers, just going to tighten the wire down. Hopefully that will just hold in position.
But there's a problem.
Yeah, see, it wants to squish in, doesn't it? So what's tending to happen as I tighten the wire is the teeth are collapsing relative to each other.
Noel has to improvise to prevent the teeth being pushed out of place.
We're going to see if we can kebab it in there and put it back together by putting a pin across there.
The makeshift kebab pin fixes the central fragment of jawbone in place.
I can now tighten this wire and the little bit in the middle doesn't get crushed in. Now hopefully when we close the jaw it'll match up. Yeah, that'll do. Job done.
James now has to stitch a suture in and around the mouth, leaving two loose ends beneath the chin.
Depending on how tight we tie them, depends on how much the mouth can actually open or close. That should be about the right amount.
He leaves a small gap between the teeth to allow Black Beauty to eat solid food whilst the temporomandibular joint heals. If he struggles to eat, James has a plan to ensure he won't go hungry.
We're going to just place a feeding tube that's going to go into the side of the neck so he doesn't have to worry about eating, but we can still make sure he's getting the nutrition that he needs.
Black Beauty's out of imminent danger, but he'll stay at the practice until he's stable enough to return home.
Fitzpatrick Referrals, Natalie speaking. How can I help?
It's been 2 very long and anxious weeks for Karen since she left Pearl at the practice for her operation.
I was absolutely inconsolable. Going back to a cold room and see Pearl's cage there and her collar in my hand and sitting on the bed, it just felt like I was on another planet because I knew that I was on my own.
That's it.
I've had a couple of risky nights without her, which has been quite dangerous. I don't know how I'd manage without Pearl.
Keep going. Good, good. And turn around and come back.
Noel wants to check on Pearl's progress before she leaves.
It's very difficult to do knee replacement surgery on this breed. What we've tried to do here is match this leg with the opposite leg, and it looks pretty good. She's beginning to use the leg reasonably well now, but that's taken 2 weeks because her muscles are not used to pulling the knee replacement in that direction, and hopefully that'll improve over the next 6 weeks. So this is what our knee replacement looks like. There's the kneecap, there's the hinge, there's the peg going into the bone, and that's the other peg going into the other bone.
Good heavens, Pearl.
Yeah.
But she will put it down, won't she?
Yeah, you are panicking too much. She's actually doing much better already than she was.
Right.
This is going to take 12 weeks, beginning to end.
Okay.
And it's normal for her to take a while to get her muscles to cope with a metal knee. All right, Pearlie, be good.
Pearl will need weekly physiotherapy to strengthen her knee, but for now, Karen can take her back home to Devon.
Definitely a happy day. Really excited. Now the hard work starts. It's like having another disabled person in the house.
I love Nando's, it's just so good. I ate so much of it. I looked like a right tramp last night. I had that, like a pita bread with all the stuffing like stacked up.
Black Beauty has now spent a week at the practice following the operation to pin and wire his broken jaw back into position.
You're not feeling very well.
He's not showing any interest in eating solid food, so the nurses are feeding him daily via his tube.
Very useful for cats because if they feel in any way poorly, they stop eating. They're not in any way similar to a Labrador, which, bless them, despite how poorly they feel, they will eat.
James hopes returning him to the family will encourage him to eat normally. Nina has returned to collect him with her 2 children, Charlie and Lara.
He's not eating at the moment, so the hope is if he comes home, he'll eat. My husband's a bit freaked out. He said he can't come home without tube in. It was like, no, it's fine. Come on then. Hello, lovely boy.
Just be a little bit careful under his chin. He's just got a little bit of wire that's there, so just be careful with your fingers.
Is that the bit where his nose
Absolutely, yeah.
going down?
Goes all the way round and down.
Oh,
and it's just
round.
Yeah, and underneath there. What we'll aim to do is to leave everything in place for 4 weeks. See if you guys can tempt him at home to eat, so we can see if you can hand feed him and encourage him. We'll leave the tube in for now, and if we find that he's not really eating, then you guys can feed via that. So all you really need to do is take the cap off, connect a little syringe, and then you can give food via that.
No, go back onto the table.
2 days later, Black Beauty's not adjusting well to the suture around his mouth.
You can see now he's really fed up. He's just sort of laying about, quite unsettled. He's sleeping under beds and sort of hiding a little bit, which is very not like him.
This is where normally Beauty sleeps lazy. There's a lot of black fur on it. He is always there just for a cuddle. So yeah, I miss him.
Despite the family's best efforts, they're not having much luck feeding him solid food.
I'm tempting with all sorts of salmon, chicken, roast chicken, everything. It's probably going to be a bit of a battle to get him to eat properly so we can get rid of the tube.
Nina has to syringe food through his tube 4 times a day.
It's quite hard work having children as well. It's a bit like having a newborn again.
But she's discovered an unusual approach to make her life a little easier at meal times.
I've been putting wildlife documentaries on the iPad, so it's the only way to kind of keep him calm because he likes watching the big cats. And insects he's quite into as well. So, watching giraffes now.
Oh yeah, you want the heads in? Yay!
It's early evening, and Noel's received the lab results from the cancer centre for 2.5-year-old Irish setter Casey.
So Casey's laboratory report has just come back, and it's quite surprising to the point that I've had 3 different pathologists double check it. It's not an osteosarcoma, which is the most malignant kind of bone tumour. It's a fibrosarcoma, meaning it has less than a 5% chance of recurrence, whereas an osteosarcoma has a massively high chance of recurrence and spread. So in fact, by cutting the tumour out of the bone and replacing it with the endoprosthesis, we've probably not only saved his leg, but also probably saved his life. Today's a good day.
Noel has phoned Joe and Paul with the good news.
It was the best news, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Because we love him to pieces. I think we said, wow, can't believe it.
All that time you was thinking the worst. And so it's such good news.
I can't believe how lucky we were, really.
Yeah.
Following Noel's good news, Joe and Paul have brought Casey back to the practice for a checkup.
We couldn't believe it when you phoned.
Yeah, I remember that day, because we all were thinking the worst, and then thankfully it worked out for the better. I mean, at that particular location, we normally see a malignant bone tumour, so the fact that it was a fibro rather than an osteosarcoma is just fantastic.
Noel's also hoping the CT scans will be encouraging and reveal that the bone in his leg is growing into his endoprosthesis.
This is the CT scan. And when we look at that in cross-section, this is the really key thing. As we scroll through, you can see the bone physically grows down onto the honeycomb structure. Do you see that bone there? You see the bone physically growing down there over the collar. That collar has revolutionized our ability to save legs. That is a permanent part of Casey's body forever. I have to say I'm really rather proud of those particular screws because they went dead center into the accessory carpal bone. And now I know I'm an orthopedic nerd, but when you get two screws, bang shot center.
That's just showing off.
That's just showing off. That's showing off.
Bye bye. Good boy. Off you go.
That was fantastic news. We're so pleased everything's gone okay, and we've got a normal dog back, haven't we?
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have him 10 years and more. So
Noel wants to see him when he's 10 years old.
Yeah.
So. Then Noel said he'll probably outlive him.
It's easy when a dog has a tumour in the leg to just say, well, the only option is take the leg off. But he is now on 4 legs potentially for his entire life. And that is why we spend 10 years developing this, an endoskeleton, and to give him a fully functional quality of life forever. A decade well spent.
That's really sexy.
It's 3 weeks since Black Beauty's jawbone was wired back together. But Nina's concerned he's still not eating.
We're hoping that they're going to take his suture out today. Hopefully he'll be able to eat then a bit, because he hasn't been eating at all. I don't think he likes, just having that much room to chew it. Fingers crossed it'll make the difference.
Nina leaves Black Beauty at the practice with James, so they can remove the suture and monitor his progress.
You still got food in your tube. You're like a little old grandpa.
Cats can be really, really fussy about having something wrong with their mouth. Sometimes they decide that they just don't want to eat at all and they'll go on hunger strike.
James is hoping that by removing the suture, it will encourage Black Beauty to eat normally again.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That was the suture that was holding his mouth in a fixed position.
James also removes the remaining metalwork, placed at the front of the jaw.
So we'll see if he's a bit more keen to eat now he doesn't have that suture in place. And then if he is quite happy eating, we'll maybe pull his tube.
All they can do now is wait.
He's maybe a little bit too sleepy. He probably doesn't want to eat anything yet.
Until he starts eating properly again, Black Beauty will remain at the practice.
Come on, Pearl.
In Devon, Karen is worried her seizure alert staffy Pearl is not recovering quickly enough after her operation. Pearl needs an intensive course of physiotherapy at Fitzpatrick's to help regain movement in her knee.
Come on, Pearl.
Karen's decided to move nearer to the practice and live in a B&B to make sure Pearl never misses a session.
What I'm trying to do is just find a way to make her use that left hind leg. Sometimes if we do a circle, she'll put that leg down a little bit more, and she's struggling, isn't she, to do that.
The practice is giving her laser treatment to speed up the healing of muscle around the knee.
For Pearl in particular, it's because her leg was really quite swollen, and we've done 2 sessions of the laser already, and the swelling's coming down quite nicely.
And as the weeks progress, Karen's devotion to Pearl's recuperation is slowly showing results.
How was she after yesterday? She was fine. She really enjoyed it. It's definitely helping her, and it's. I feel better in myself that I'm giving her every opportunity to get some quality of life back. She's walking without dragging the leg. She's actually putting her foot down now. I think I could do with some of that physio, Pearl. Shall I get in there?
Down in Bexhill-on-Sea, 2.5-year-old Irish setter Casey is adapting well to life on his new bionic leg.
There's a good boy. Come on. There's a good boy.
We're so pleased that we went to Noel. He's done such a lot for Casey. It takes a big weight off, doesn't it, to know that he's fine and he's back to normal. It's so nice to see him running and enjoying himself. Yesterday he ran and ran and ran.
He's certainly all back on his way to normal.
Full recovery, yes. We hope his cancer is all cured now. Can't say perhaps another one won't come up somewhere else, but fingers crossed. At the moment, we're feeling positive about it, aren't we? Yeah. It all looks like he could have a normal, long, happy life, so.
You can sleep better at night.
Finally, Black Beauty is back at home. It's taken lots of patience and encouragement, but he's now eating normally again.
Beauty. As soon as that suture came out and he could move his mouth more, that was what he was wanting all along, because he basically was really uncomfortable just eating with that tiny gap. And then we got rid of the tube and he was much happier. So it was quite nice when he actually started to eat properly and, you know, get back to normal.
After being housebound during his recovery, he's back enjoying the great outdoors.
Since the accident, he's much more wary. So I'm hoping it won't go near the main road now. Maybe he's learned his lesson. We do worry about him. If he doesn't come back in at a certain time, I'm obviously worried. And I've been up and down the street looking for him at night before, and then he sort of turns up, you know, like, what's the problem, you know? I really did think that first night that he wouldn't make it. So the fact that Noel managed to, you know, put everything back together and, you know, save him was just amazing. Easy.
Right, come on, Pearl. Let's put your seatbelts on.
It's 10 weeks since Pearl's operation.
Are you okay, Pearl? Hey? Are you going to see Uncle Noel? It might be your last time with a bit of luck.
She's had over 30 separate sessions of treatment to assist with her knee recovery.
There you go.
Today, Karen will find out if the months she's dedicated to Pearl's rehabilitation
If you turn around, please.
have all been worthwhile.
Go on, Pearl. Straight line for me, please. Keep going, Karen. Keep going.
She's going to have me over.
Awesome. Hold up there for me. She seems so much better,
She
Karen.
is. She's brilliant.
Kind of turned the corner, hasn't she?
Yeah, definitely.
Well done, Pearlie. All right, let's go back in. So this is her knee. What we want to see is two things.
Right.
We want to see that the cement bone interface is good, and we also want the cement implant interface to be good. And in both cases, it's really good.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. So actually, I'm delighted with her.
Well, it's that physio. That's what did it.
I totally agree with you. I actually just potted around in there, and the physios made it all well. No, I'm joking. They did. No, in all seriousness, you're absolutely right. The physiotherapy made the difference between success and failure here.
Definitely, it was well worth it.
And I'm so proud of you for staying down and making that happen, because if you had not done that,
it wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened.
No way.
And I can do all I like mechanically, But unless you get the tissues to work after you've done the mechanical bit, you fail.
Oh, I'm so shocked.
Okay. All right, well done.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you smile. Here we go. Go and run in the fields.
Back home in Devon, Pearl is going from strength to strength.
Come on then. Yeah, she has been a star today. Teddy will be all right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that legs. Look at her leg. It's brilliant. It's amazing. It's a new lease of life for both of us. It's taken 5 years off her. She looks like a new young dog, and she's playful, and she's not in pain anymore.
And as importantly for Karen and her carer, Pearl has returned to her nightly duties.
Karen's happier. She feels more secure and contented that, you know, we're alerted much quicker. It's wonderful.
I owe my life to Pearl. Several occasions she's been there for me. If she hadn't have been, then I wouldn't be standing here talking to you today. She's an amazing dog, absolutely amazing.